Do, re, mi, fa, so.
Alright, nobody cuss, you're on film.
Hey, he knows. These are the rules. You gotta watch your mouth, Henny.
Fuck that.
Yes.
Why?
Hey, quiet in the
Who said
audience.
that?
Quiet in the
Who
audience.
said that?
We're back again. Another edition of, what do we call it? Henny Talks. Talks with Henny. Conversations with Henny. The Henny Podcast.
Well, I changed it to conversation with Stan on some of them.
So how about we just call it Conversations?
We need a rainbow when you do that. Like SpongeBob.
Alright, y'all know who I am, Stan Smith, Iron Sharp K9. Introduce yourself, ma'am, and tell us why you're here dealing with us.
Okay. So I am Gray Forrester. I am a self-taught trainer down in Cocoa with my Aussie Healer. We're working towards SAR certification, search and rescue, primarily for man trailing, but did just start a little bit of human remains detection. We may or may not certify. He's essentially my training dog. If we certify, wonderful. If he just teaches me, then he has done above and beyond what I ever expected him to do. And then I'm here to get a little bit better skills, more polished, pick up some tricks and get rid of some bad habits I've developed because I'm self-taught and just kind of figuring things out.
So he's your first dog?
He's my first dog that I've ever tried to do any training outside of the kitchen with.
Oh, sweet.
Hey, introduce yourself before you ask questions.
Oh.
Like they're like, who's this guy asking this girl questions?
They
Why?
want to like
Why
it.
should they even listen to you?
Because it's in the title, conversation with Henny.
Oh, I guess that he does have a point there.
Henrik,
One for the Henny.
Henrik, owner of Texas German Shepherd. I'm a breeder, I'm a trainer, working together with Stan. Yeah, if you're looking for a German Shepherd, all the German Shepherds I have, I import myself or been bred by myself. 100% healthy.
All right, now you can ask your question.
So, is that your first dog you trained?
There you go.
The first one I've trained to actually do anything. I've had dogs before, grew up with dogs, but it was like, sit. Cool, he sat, we're done. Like,
PetSmart training.
Yes.
So, what was one of the hardest things about finding information about dog training for yourself that you stumbled across?
A lot of it was actually the overwhelming amount of information, and then just like the trying to take a drink from a water hose, and like, this person said to do this, but this person said that will traumatize my dog. What the heck should I do?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things people tell you which you shouldn't do because it does a certain thing to the dog, and they all know everything better than you do because they had a dog before.
Yeah, definitely trying to sort out the, okay, well, that doesn't really seem to make sense for my dog because he actually likes that. So if he likes it, do I just have a weird dog? Which I do.
Well, that's a sad thing. People
But-
go with that and they
Yeah.
believe it. And
So, and then you also do the vet tech stuff.
Yeah,
And has that helped? Has that helped when you're looking at dog training from the stuff that you experience in the vet?
it has. I think a lot of it has helped because it's really elevated how I can read body language versus just, I only ever see my dog. I get to see a lot of dogs every day, and they all display different behaviors. Some of them like mean the same thing, but oh, the shepherd did this and it meant that, but the Rottie did this and it meant that type of thing. So
And so when it comes to, like you said, there's techniques that you're going to use to hold the dog, or there's different things. And have you noticed that it's not a one-size-fits-all for every dog that there is?
definitely not. There's some dogs that absolute minimal restraint and they're golden. There's some dogs that they essentially need you to give them a hug. And it's seeing which works for which dog, and even variabilities amongst the same breed. Like a lot of the German Shepherds I've seen, really you just need to stand with them, have control of the head, and they're pretty solid. But I've had some that they just want you to just really give them a little hug, and then you can still do whatever you need to do.
So that comes to the same conclusion, like in dog training, like there's going to be some techniques that work for this style of dog, and then there's going to be other techniques that work for this, and then sometimes you just interlock them, and it's like, oh no, let me see if I can do it, guys. Oh, there we go. I got to get more flexible. This is terrible. But yeah, see, that's what I was trying to do. It looked a whole lot.
oh, I don't even want to try.
See, there you go. I'm not the worst. I'm not the worst. So
Damn, I think I just hurt myself.
But sometimes you just got to interlock everything in together. And I think you've been out here since Tuesday, and
Yeah.
it's Friday, so what is that? It's about 4 days.
Yep.
And in those 4 days, I think you've seen a variety of different style dogs, and the training is the same, but it's made to the dog that's in front of us.
Yeah, like when we were working with the professor, little dog, versus working with Bane, big high drive dog.
So you work with Bane?
Oh, baby.
Oh.
I messed up more than Bane did. Let's put it that
Ah, nah. You learned.
way. Yeah.
There you go. That's a good way to put it. And those genetics from Dax came through. Bane was like, "Oh, she doesn't mean it. I can do what I want."
Oh, yeah. Oh, you experienced that, huh?
Yep,
Yeah.
those genetics we talked about last time got passed down to the Bane man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, what would be one question that you would ask Henrik? He's been around a couple of dogs in his lifetime.
Have to just pick one.
I mean, just off the top of the head, we still got a couple more minutes.
What is your favorite thing to train?
My favorite thing to train, I would say it's not really training. The favorite thing is really building the right bond with your dog to be able to do proper training. I think people take it too easily sometimes with their dog and they don't put enough time in it. I believe sometimes you should just take your dog out and make it a training session to have a good time with your dog without doing actually sits, downs, and all that kind of stuff. Because actually building a good bond with your dog, it is kind of an exercise.
Yeah.
Because you teach that dog, hey, you can trust me. We don't always go out there and we do A, B, C, D, and you have to do this and this and this. I really think that's one of the most important things that I actually learned pretty late in my time that I'm around dogs. And that's why I think it's one of the most important things. And we met the first time at Space Coast,
Yeah.
and you saw what Dax did to me on that field. I would say my feelings were a little hurt, but
He cried when he was in the car.
yeah, a little bit, just a little bit. But so since then, I actually put a lot more time with him in that. Not too much obedience, not so much bite work anymore, and we do a lot more. Let's just go out and have some fun. And but what it actually did was, if you followed Dax a little bit over the last couple of years, his outs, and I think that's a big part of it, which I started to build more and more relationship with him, being more buddy-buddy, and we're just out here and have fun. Because I haven't worked a lot on outs, and he now starting just to get a lot better with outs, where we used to have massive issues, like
A lot of conflict.
a lot of conflict,
Gotcha.
a lot of conflict.
It got to the point I'd be like, "Hey, you want to work Dax?" And Henrik would go, "No, not today."
So, and really, most things I do with him is really just like, hey, come on, buddy. And I think for the dog to understand, hey, we're just two good friends, he becomes way more receptive to your commands, to corrections, and because he's more willing to work with you. Instead of, I think sometimes if you just use corrections and not so much, hey, buddy, the dog just shuts down. And, okay, I do it, but I don't want to do it. So you want the dog to do it for you, with you. So I believe actually that's a big part of it, yeah, that I put a lot of focus now into my dogs. More than I did before. I thought I did enough, but I think I didn't do really enough. So.
I think I've seen a little bit of that this week working with Stan, especially the professor, because he's a small dog, so really anybody, even a little short person like me, is kind of intimidating to him.
Mm-hmm.
But as he's gotten to know me, he's working for me better than
Yeah.
he was on Tuesday when he didn't know me as much.
It's weird, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes you just want to have a few days just building a bond and get the right connection, and then they're like, okay, what are we going to do? And then you just got some good repetition with good rewards, good timing, and the dog starts to work with you. And even the corrections, the dog's way more receptive to it. If he wants to work with you, he said, hey, I don't want you to do that, so what do I need to do not to get corrected?
Yeah.
And then I think the understanding is a lot better because they want to literally be there because it's fun. Yeah.
Essentially trying to speak each other's language.
Yeah. And yeah, apart from that, I really think I like to do obstacles more and more. So get more and more into different obstacles. Like obstacles that are not the common things, like make your own kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what
So I
I've
like
been
that.
liking. I mean, you saw my dog Bacardi out there on
Mhm.
the obstacles because we don't really have any at home. So I was like, yeah, we'll try it every single time. I'm like, I don't think he'll do it. He's like, hold my beer.
And you do have obstacles at home. You just have to find them.
Yeah. Kitchen
Good
counter
point.
is a good stuff. Good one.
Playgrounds. Well, one thing that I like to do with all my dogs is I'll be driving, and I'll be like, "Huh, that looks like a fun playground. I got 5 minutes. Pull over real quick and just see what the dog's gonna do."
I mean, I guess the worst they can do is kick me out. I'll be like, okay. I'll
Yeah,
leave,
I mean, in
bye.
most of them are public.
Yeah.
You know, if they're not in school, I mean, some churches they may have a gate, but if there's not a lock on the gate, an unlocked door is an opportunity. And again, you go in there, get what you got to do, and then leave. Just make sure you clean up after yourself,
Yeah. Good point.
and then record your footage and be like, "Hey," and not even to post, just for your catalog. I like looking back at old Rocco videos where we first started and he didn't know anything, and it's like, damn, he came a long way. And even like watching little videos of Booth when he's figuring things out. It's like, oh. Even today watching that video we edit, I like to see my dog get better. You got to watch the whole video of him getting on the horse, Henny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He almost got sold about 4 times. Like, I almost was like, you little Aussie.
So what's the price tag?
No, he did it. He did it. It took us about 30 minutes. And like you were saying, it was the bond in the relationship. There was things like, we just worked him through it. The first he walked in, the horse picks up his hoof, and he skedaddled. He was like, nah, fuck that. I was like, dang. Or, forget that. I was like, dang, this is going to be hard. I don't know if he's going to do it today. And then we just, piece by piece and step by step, he started getting a little better. And then we had a tall fellow be able to hand me the horse, not the horse,
Hand you
hand
the
me
horse?
the dog. Hand me the dog. And, got him up there. And it's funny because I had the mic right here, and he's leaning so far against me, you can hear his heart beating.
Poor little boo. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing?
This is a really big dog.
But he worked himself through it. I mean, he didn't even want to get on the stairs. He didn't want to do even obedience at first.
Mm-hmm.
But then we, worked him through it. He had some rewards. And then when we brought the sleeve out, then he was like, oh, I don't care anymore. Let me just jump on, jump off, jump on. And I'm like, oh, you're not thinking. You're not thinking anymore. But he did it.
Hey.
So we're going to probably go back at least, 3 more times and get him to do it before we take him out to the rodeo. But I think we can get him even jumping off the ground onto the horse, because the last one we did, if he didn't hesitate, he could have cleared it. Because it's only 13 and a half hands high.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
From a standstill, like not even a run up.
Did you
Oh,
ever
maybe.
see that movie they say white man can't jump?
Yeah. Damn.
I'd pay to
Well-
see
Can't put on it.
Yeah. You can use the steps. We'll just Photoshop it out.
No way, no.
But nah, I mean, it's pretty cool, and I agree with Henny. I think that's one of the coolest things, is building that bond and a relationship with the dog, to be able to push them through it. Because he was stressed. We pushed him. He got to the point where he went and laid down and just looked like, I don't want to do it anymore. So we gave him a little break, and then came back, and then he got to the point where he's like, okay, I'll do it. Oh, you were on there? I'll do it. So we just got to
Yeah.
get him really comfortable. And, shout out to Lindsay. That horse was bulletproof.
Yeah,
Like,
that was a solid horse.
the horse is just like, okay, I'm still here. And it was good. And then we even got to ride around a little bit with him. The horse was like trained not to go too fast, so
You got to fulfill your cowboy dreams in
Yeah.
rear.
I did a yeehaw.
That's all you need
I
to
didn't
laugh.
yeehaw though, because I was like trying not to fall.
Well,
She's
yeah,
like-
it would have been pretty cool.
She's like, you want to rear up? And I was like, yeah, okay. So lean forward, but don't lean too far back because you'll fall. And then by the time I'm already hitting the ground, I was like, oh, I couldn't yeehaw, so.
Well, it's Jackson. He might have yeehaw his horse.
Nah, I don't know. I like trained horses. I like very well trained horses, because I think I'm an intermediate. I'm a beginner rider, but I don't need the horse to try to go, and I don't know how to stop.
Ah, property's fenced in, so.
Yeah,
What-
but horses,
what could
an
happen?
object in motion stays in motion until acted upon an outside force.
You'll be okay.
That's physics.
That's
Hey.
the only thing you remember.
I'll
from
just
school?
make sure I keep the
That's
camera on.
Einstein.
It's gonna be a good video.
That's
And then it'll
the
go viral.
that's the
Yeah.
third law.
You can keep it, and you can look back a few years later, like we talked about. You
Yeah.
can
No.
see, hey, that's how I
That's
used to
where
ride.
that slip disc came from.
Okay, no.
Memories.
My body, if I was probably if I was 33, I would do it. But 35 stand body? No, I'm falling off that horse and I'm gonna look like you.
You just gotta be 33 in your mind.
No, I am, but that's why I even get on the horse. But my body is like, my body is telling me no.
Okay, what do you mean like you?
He's not gonna
Anyway, I
let that
think
slide.
we're drifting a little off. So.
Hey, I told you, we generally have a topic, and then by the end of it, we're talking about
I
my
warned-
body.
I warned you, I'm like my dog. I have an Aussie healer, cause squirrel.
There you go. So, since you've been with Stan those few days, so what do you take home? Pretty much since those 5 days? Yeah. What is it? What is that you definitely gonna take home from those 5 days?
It might sound a little silly, but honestly, it's been a huge boost in my confidence. Cause just like, no, that's how I would have done it. You're not a horrible trainer. Oh, cool. I'm not awful. Great. And then just little techniques to polish up, like ways I was holding the leash, ways I was moving my hand to kind of help get that little tuck at the heel
Mhm.
position. It's been really great to have just that little fine tuning and that little bit of, no, you can do this has been
I
very
mean-
helpful for me.
Dog people like to talk trash about other dog people, especially training, because as soon as somebody does something different, somebody's gonna talk trash about it.
Yeah.
You're gonna find your own way. A lot of tools in the toolbox, and
Yeah.
you're gonna see what works for you. So you got your own kind of style sometimes how you might communicate with a dog, and it works. And I have a totally different style to communicate with my dog. So Stan has a different style to how he communicates with his dog. Yeah. So yeah, you're gonna find your own little way. You pick up here. Just pick up the right stuff from the right people, and
Yeah, and I was very excited when Stan even agreed to let me come out here and do this.
Yeah, she was like, I wanted to ask you 2 years ago. I'm like, well, why didn't you?
Social anxiety!
I know you talked about it in Florida already.
Yeah, I like, Loki's like, so Henny, do you think Stan would let me come out and train with him?
She actually asked me that,
I
did.
believe you.
and I tried to give her my PayPal. You know, but
Just
I
send
didn't know
it-
you yet. I just met
send it
you.
here, Send it here.
I had just met you.
no, she asked me at Space Coast, you know, like, yeah, just
Ask
give me a
him.
shout, just ask him.
Yeah. But one thing that I do notice is, like you said, you do second guess it. And sometimes you just got to go for it and see if it works. And it's a lot of people, like, will switch techniques before it actually works. I'll give anything about 21 days. Hey, let's try this for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
If the dog's improving, shit, we're going to keep doing it. If the dog's not, we may revamp a little bit. And then we want to see why the dog is improving, what part of the technique. Like you saw with the professor. He is a dickhead. And when you applied more force, he started to get worse.
Yes.
So it's like, he still needs a correction, but you can't overcorrect because he'll completely shut down and then he'll just flip you a bird for everything versus what you're wanting to do. So it's like finding that line,
Yeah.
and then you always got to remember the history of the dog, or you try to find out as much history. He was a street dog. He probably had to manipulate a couple of things like, yeah, I'm going to do it, the treat's there, and I'm gone.
Yeah.
So he's probably used to being able to get away with those things because he had to survive.
Yeah.
And then a dog like Bane, Bane's just, he didn't have any social, like, upbringing. He was basically raised in a crate for about 6 months of his life. Like, and he's actually pretty well adjusted to have the minimal amount of socialization that he has. He hasn't had really any insecurities. Like, he's not afraid. We had him around. You had him around your neighbor's
I don't
horses.
know, horses, cows.
And he's not like
Anyway.
a spook where
He doesn't.
some dogs, they don't see anything and they're going to be terrified.
Yeah.
So you try to find the history behind the dog and then you try to work with it. But don't be afraid to, like I said, it's an overcorrection, but sometimes the dog's got to know that you mean it. Like, and it's not being cruel, it's not being mean, because remember, commands are something that are going to keep your dog safe.
Yeah.
If I can down my dog on a dime, that means I can stop them before they're getting into something. If I can recall my dog on a dime, that means I can stop them before they get into the street. All of these things are safety at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks cool. Yes, you whatever. But at the end of the day, it's all about keeping the dog safe. I got into dog training because I had a dog run out of the front door, had no recall, and ended up getting hit by a car less than 5 feet away from me. And there was literally nothing I can do because I would get close and he'd keep going. So, safety before anything, and make sure you're just building value in the commands like we talked about. You got to be more interesting than a squirrel.
Yeah.
And again, what is that? Read the dogs, what you learned as a VEC Tech or two, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes too much correction, you got to be able to read it. And that's when it's good to record yourself, because not just can you look back years and years later, but you can also look back the same night and you see, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Because when I did that, I didn't see that, but you can see it on the camera.
Yeah.
Sometimes you will see stuff on the camera, especially when you're by yourself. Like Stan can tell me when he sits here and I do something, he can tell me, hey, you shouldn't have done that. Or I can tell him, hey, try this and this and this, because I see something from the outside, what you don't see as a handler.
Yeah.
So,
Boom.
Good info.
So they said we couldn't keep it under an hour. I think we were definitely keeping it good under an hour today. And we mostly, I think mostly is a good word, stayed on topic.
Yeah.
We most can agree. Mostly. Mostly.
for the most,
Part.
I didn't swear either.
I think this was a first. And I think I got to work on I think I need to go get some soap and
Yeah.
wash it out.
Yeah, I think you should. I get this.
But it's a good place though. It's not.
Yeah, mine
A little
too.
bit on life.
It's genuine.
Yeah, mine too.
But you're German. It sounds aggressive. How do you say I love you?
Ich liebe dich.
Say it louder so they can hear.
Ich liebe dich.
I'm scared.
It's common.
Like, I'm scared. Like,
It's like common spelling.
yeah, but I'm still scared of it. Now, how would the French say it? Say it. How would you say it if you were French?
If I were French,
Uh-huh. Hey, be
I
careful.
don't even freaking know.
Vous
I say
chez,
freaking.
vous chez.
No, voulez-vous coucher avec moi? It's
Avec
not,
moi?
that means you want to sleep with me.
Oh. Isn't that the same thing?
Pretty much.
Okay, no, wait.
It's a
This
French.
okay, we're drifting. We're drifting. All right, guys, make sure you guys subscribe. You hit the bell. We got Henny Talks. And if you want to be on a Henny Talk, come with a topic, and we'll mostly stay on topic.
And we don't swear anymore.
Mostly.
Hey, just take care of your dog, people.
Cheers.
Hold on.
Oh, she doesn't have a cheers.
I have a cheat.
Ah, he always forgets the cheers.
No, I just didn't have anything to cheers. I didn't clink. I couldn't clink.